Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another quick chat. Today on the quick chat, as you guys can see on the screen, I definitely want to talk about Tamar and her recent talks about Kim Kardashian, Nene leaks, and the Braxton family values. And we're also going to get into Chris Brown and Ciara's a new song that they have together that kind of has social media in an uproar. Now, I'll be honest, I have not checked out the video nor listen to the song just yet, but I definitely got a chance to see what the people had to say, and we will be talking about that. Okay, so as you guys come on into the video, definitely be sure to hit that like button if you have yet to do so. Now, before we get into the hot topics of what I really want to talk about, I also want to touch on this particular story here. Okay, what we're seeing is that there's a teenage girl that's facing criminal charges for allegedly fleeing police to rush her mother to the hospital for a medical emergency. And police ended up doing a pit maneuver to get her to stop. Okay. So I guess they felt like this was the quickest way to get their mom to the hospital. Of course, when police see this, whether you got your emergency lights on or not, they're going to become alarmed. And yeah, they're going to end up pulling you over. And it looks like the young ladies was not too far because I believe it was I believe it was twin daughters with their mom in the car. They weren't too far from the hospital from what it looks like when the police pulled them over. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get into this video to see what's really going on. I'm gonna mute the first half of the video, not the first half, but a few seconds of it, but we'll get into the news story and things, once it comes up. But as you can see, they hit a pit maneuver. The driver has her hands up immediately, and there's another young woman that's in the middle that you can see, which appears to be her twin sister. And I believe that this young lady is screaming for help. I think they're both screaming for help for their mom, but you can tell that the
Hey,
officer
look here.
is trying to get them
I
to,
need you to stop. Hold 1 second,
calm
1 second.
down or step out
Hey,
the vehicle, right?
hey, driver. Driver. Hold them real quick. Hold them real quick. I'm about to call. Hey.
She's screaming for them to help her, please, because there's a
Here's what
situation
led
going on
to
with her mom,
this.
and she's saying, please save
1
my
month
mama.
ago, Hart had undergone a surgery and was discharged. But just hours later,
my chest started hurting real bad, and it started feeling like it was tightening up. So I told my kids, come on, let's go, take me back to the emergency room. And while we was on our way, my left arm went numb. I had a shooting pain, and then my left hand went numb. And I told my baby Kenosha to hurry up and get me there.
racing against the clock, her daughters, Kenosha and Kiosha Moss, head to Baptist Hospital in Little Rock. Speeding on I-630 with hazard lights flashing. Initially, Little Rock police begin to pursue the family, but soon they catch the attention of Arkansas State Police Trooper Monte Hernandez as they exit on Baptist Health Drive.
I said, slow down and pull over so the police can come beside us and direct us there. Next thing I know, we got hit.
Do what? Were you on pursuit?
Kenosha is then handcuffed.
I'm sorry. Get my mama to the hospital.
What's wrong with your mama?
She had surgery about 3 days ago.
Kenosha tells 7 on Your Side it all happened so fast.
I'm thinking I hit somebody. Then the car turned around. I just seen a whole bunch of guns and flashlights pointing at me. He's screaming, get out the car, get out the car. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should get out the car. I don't know if I should stay in the car. I just put my hands up. I was just like, just help my mom.
All right. So from what you guys can see, I think that this case is not going to go anywhere. That's just what I think. I don't know. I feel like these criminal charges are likely going to be dropped now that, they're getting the public attention that they need to get. Okay. I just find it interesting that it looks like they were on a bridge. So the young lady had a limited amount of space for her to pull over for her mom anyway, pull over just for the officers to even be able to just for the officers to even be able to service her or give her a ticket or whatever the case was. It looks like they were coming off of a bridge. So where do you expect her to pull over at? So now I don't know if the young lady at that point was trying to, like, once she got off that bridge, if she just kept going or what, but it was enough room for the officer to, create a pit maneuver or whatever and kind of stop her. But I'm just like, y'all, did y'all give her enough time to even pull over for y'all, being that y'all just got off of this bridge? You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like how the officers handled that was so wrong. Of course, you see the ladies are frantic. They all got their hands up for the most part. um y'all are yelling, asking what's going on with mom from a far distance. Huh? What you say? What's going on with mom? What's going on with mom? Like, it was just getting very weird. And when y'all walk up there, instead of hearing what the young lady is saying and telling y'all something's going on with my mama, you got two officers over there that's like trying to arrest her, and one officer slowly walking over to the damn car. I'm glad that her mom did not like pass out, faint, die, or anything, because then I feel like they probably would have been liable for that as well. But it's like, okay, one officer already got her. Go ahead and detain her, whatever you're gonna do, not arrest her, but detain her as you figure out what's going on with her mama. But y'all, she didn't need like two officers over there. Like, I don't know. I just kind of didn't like how the officers handled this particular situation. So now, as I'm looking where the officers are driving right here, so it looks like they're driving fast to catch up with the young lady as they have the lights on. But as you can see, who the fuck finna pull over on the bridge on the interstate for the officers? Where is there room for her to pull over on that bridge for y'all to see whatever the issue is? So obviously, when she gets off the exit, she's going to pull over. But instead of y'all giving her the time to pull over, y'all go ahead and y'all hit her with a pit maneuver or whatever. So I just, it definitely made me feel away. But I think that the criminal charges might end up being dropped if they have more people discussing this and talking about it. Like, look at the two officers over there doing what they do. You got one officer walking over there. This officer that's walking up to see her, seeing she's being handcuffed, he's walking over there asking what's going on with mama. Take your ass over there with the other officer and find out, because she's already being detained, as you can see. And then y'all decided to hit her with criminal charges. So it's a criminal charge to flee from the police. Girl, I don't know if that's a misdemeanor or if they would consider that a felony or whatever in her state. But I definitely hope that whatever the case is, it gets dropped, because she was trying to get her mom there to the hospital at the end of the day. And you know how it can be sometimes with ambulance, girl. Sometimes 911 don't even answer the call. Hello. I know I've experienced that, where I had to call 911 for a family member that injured themselves, and girl, they didn't even answer the fucking phone. Okay, called twice and nobody in 911 answered. Hello. And this shouldn't necessarily matter, but we weren't in like a hood. We were in the suburbs and they still did not even answer the damn call, you know? So there's that. So then we had to load the family member up in our vehicle and just go ahead and get them to the hospital ourselves. Hello? Because the ambulance didn't answer. So that could have been a situation with them or not, but they decided it'll be faster if they went ahead and got their mama there. So that's what they were trying to do. But again, as I said, I hope that this doesn't go anywhere and that they drop these criminal charges now that their story is being more publicized. But you guys leave your thoughts and comments about this overall situation down below. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and I want to switch over, and I do want to talk about um Chris Brown. Okay. I want to talk about Chris Brown and this whole situation with Ciara. So y'all know they got a song that is out, and I just want to capture the name of the song. So give me a second, because I just want to make sure that I have the name of the song right. Let's see. It's called what is it called? Is it called Do That To Me? I'm not even sure. But y'all can look it up. If you guys are interested in checking out the song with Chris Brown and Ciara, definitely go check it out. They done dropped a video on everything. Oh, it's called How We Roll. Not Do That To Me. It's called How We Roll. That's the name of the song. But either way, fans have come out because, one thing about it, Chris Brown is going to have those group of people that just don't fuck with him. Period. They do not rock with him. And primarily it's because of the incident that took place between he and Rihanna quite a few years ago when they were much younger. After that, Chris Brown has had a series of incidences that we found him in, or he's found himself to be in, and people continue to not like him because of that. And I think also him having a bit of arrogance, a bit of ego, also pisses people off, because to them it may look like, oh well, he's not he hasn't suffered anything, right? So I feel like because of that, a lot of people still come after him, because clearly, regardless of what people say, this man's shows still get sold out, his albums still do very well, and he still makes a lot of money, whether he's winning awards or not winning any none of them at all. Like, he still makes a ton of bread. And I think a lot of people don't understand how, in my opinion, how much Chris is loved over in like Asia and stuff like that. Cause I just see a lot of them that, like, every time they're doing dance routines and stuff, they mimic Chris Brown's style. It's Chris Brown's music. The whole I think he had like a clothing line called Pyramid or something. Like the way they rock his clothing, his art, like, it's like, girl, do he really need us in America, girl, when he could go over there and be successful as hell? Because they don't give a damn. But either way, right? Some of the fans came to the front. And they're going to continue to have things to say because they're not really rocking with Chris Brown, and they don't want anybody else to rock with Chris Brown. But you have a lot of celebrities that's like kind of how I get. And it's really like, y'all not gonna tell me what to do. If you don't like that person, that is fine. Don't like them. You don't want to support their music, that's fine. You have every right to do that. Don't do that. I think sometimes it becomes annoying when people want to force others into a group think and want people to be just like them, or you shouldn't like them because of this and da 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 da. And I hear you. And just because a person works with somebody doesn't mean that they agree with their behavior necessarily. And that could be the case for some people. But at the same time, you're not going to tell me who to work with, and you're not going to tell me who I should or should not listen to. So it's just interesting when I see some people come out and they stand on however they feel. Like, y'all could keep talking, but you're not changing nothing. Just like when y'all came out and was talking about Nicki Minaj and her husband. Nicki, like, y'all could keep talking, but I'm still gonna be with this man. So what we gonna do? Same thing with Jonathan Majors and Megan Good. A lot of people don't like that she's dating him based on the timing. But it's like, and y'all could keep talking, but I'm gonna date who I want to date. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna make music with who I want to make. So it's been kind of interesting, and I haven't really found myself being really upset with people for real. Like, why would you do that? Oh my god, I'm so upset. Like, I mean, if that's how you feel, I'd rather you stand in how you feel instead of letting people sway your mind to what it is they want you to think and believe in. So if that's what you want, that's what you want. But let's go ahead and get into some of what the tweeters had to say. Some of the fans. Somebody says, y'all are really wishy-washy with y'all opinions about Chris Brown. He was praised for his meet and greets. And I do remember that because with the meet and greets, he was actually taking pictures with fans. They probably paid like what, $100 or something like that, or a few $100, and he'll take pictures with them however the hell they wanted to take the pictures. Okay. So a lot of people were going crazy over that in a good way. Then this person goes on to say, Chloe and Ciara are being dragged for their features, but not her or Janae. Well, that is true because they definitely have had features. They definitely have. I don't know why her or Janae hasn't. What I can say is when it comes to Chloe is always heavily critiqued. So I feel like her working with Chris was just a way for people to add an additional pile onto her because they're already not really feeling her, right? Same thing with Lizzo, right? With the Lizzo situation, and I'm still learning a lot of the details, but a lot of people already didn't like Lizzo. They also didn't like how I feel like they didn't like her confidence as a big girl, right? So now that she has these allegations out there about her, it's only going to make people want to pile on more on her because they already didn't care for her. That's how it goes. So with the Ciara situation, I don't know. I don't know what that is about. I don't know why people, feel a way about Ciara, but hey. Let's keep going. They said y'all wanted him to do the MJ tribute. and still stream his music. Okay. I remember the MJ tribute. That's where it was alleged that Tiana Taylor had something to do with it or whatever. And remember when he was supposed to perform for the American Music Awards or something, and he got snatched back and couldn't do this, So y'all wanted him to do the MJ tribute, wanted to stream his music and stuff, but now y'all hate him. Girl, what? So that's what one tweeter said. Let's get to the next person. So the next person says, people have a problem with Ciara making a song with Chris Brown, but was listening to Under the Influence and No Guidance. Listen, I have been in environments. I have where there have been a lot of people in the area, and both of those songs would come on and people would be getting their life singing it the hell down. And I refuse to believe that everybody in the building was a team Chris Browner. I refuse to believe. But when it came to that song, y'all was going up. So which one is it? Are you one way on Twitter and then you're another way, in person or something? Like, what's going on? Let's get to another one. Someone else says, every time an artist, especially female, collab with this man, I wonder how they're going to explain it to their children. This person says, how do you explain to them that you don't care about his long rap sheet or his victims because he can dance and carry a tune? Well, see, that's the thing. Maybe that's not what it was for them. How do you explain to them that you don't care about his long rap sheet or his victims? I think that would be an interesting conversation that Ciara would have with her son, being, considering the fact of who the hell his daddy is, Future. Okay. And his long rap sheet of baby mamas and those victims of women that he's dated and don't want to be held accountable for the children that he's made. So, girl, what? And honestly, I feel like with the industry, the music industry, it's very hard to come across men that are not problematic as fuck in the industry. There are some that are great, and then there are some that are very problematic as hell. So I think that's going to be a question for all, a lot, and not all, but a lot of women that work with these men in the industries, because a lot of times the flack comes on the artists because we know who they are, but a lot of people don't know what these producers may be doing behind the scenes as well. And some of these toxic as producers and producers that have been reported to have allegedly SA'd women, they have made some of y'all top songs that y'all still out here making on top of R. Kelly. So how will they explain that to their children? Hello? And it's probably going to be because I separate the person or whatever. And this is always what somebody used to say. Or not somebody, quite a few people, but I'm just thinking specifically about a conversation with R. Kelly, because I've never been crazy about R. Kelly. So for me, it was nothing for me to like not listen to his music. And I remember somebody telling me, well, I know how to separate the person from the music, or the artist from the music, or whatever like that, or not the artist from the music, but the person from the music, or whatever, the person from the artist, or whatever. And so that's probably the same thing that Ciara or a lot of other, or like Kelly Rowland or others will probably tell their kids. Like, I know how to separate from the both. You know what I'm saying? Those are allegations or things that I've heard about the person, but that's not exactly how they treated me. So I separate those things for me. So I don't know, but that's just what I'm wondering, if that's what the conversation would be like. But I think that's a good question. Okay. And the next one says, y'all bash her for working with Chris, but go turn around and listen to her baby father, who been disrespecting her and her husband for 10 years. And neither of them have said nothing bad about him. Selective outrage. Get it together. Y'all on another level. We don't know what y'all got going on. So these were some good things, conversational points that I pulled, from different places for us to, bring to the channel and for us to discuss down in the comments, because I want to hear you guys' thoughts about everything. Okay. Do you like the fact that Ciara has partnered with Chris? Do you not like the fact that she's partnered with Chris? Do you just want Chris to go the fuck away? Or do you feel like she has a right to work with whoever the fuck she wants to work with? Period. Okay. Y'all just let me know your thoughts and comments about all of that down below. Okay. In the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get on over to Tamar, Braxton, Nene Leakes, and Miss Kim Kardashian. All right. Y'all know Nene Leakes ended up doing an interview not too long ago where she kind of talked about how she felt like she should be bigger, if not bigger, just as big as Kim Kardashian. So let's go ahead and check out what it is that Nene Leakes had to say.
Be bigger than Kim Kardashian?
Absolutely. If not bigger, right there with her. I feel like they pushed Kim and they didn't push me. Kim came on after me, and they opened up every door and every opportunity for her, even putting us together at times and making her, you know, much more bigger than me. She had North, obviously. I was at North baby shower with her and Kanye, but they pushed Kim to the front and pushed me to the back. And I don't think that was by chance. I think that was the way they wanted it to be. We were together because I was Nene and I came out before her, and it just kind of looked good for us to be together. That's how I feel. Chris had a talk show. I co-host with Chris on the talk show. I just think that they made her more successful, and she was able to get opportunities and walk through doors that they just did not want me to walk through. She did Shoe Dazzle, I did Shoe Dazzle around the same time, and they just pushed her stuff forward, and they were always giving opportunities. And one other thing is that whenever we had businesses, it felt like we couldn't really show them that much on our show, but on their show, all they do is talk about their businesses, and all they do is, you know, talk about lunch and their makeup lines or their clothing lines or their whatever they're doing. And I don't feel like we were able to do that as much. So I just wasn't given the opportunities that she was giving.
All right, y'all. Now, again, I do know I need to go back, rewatch the entire interview, and come to you guys with my thoughts. Make no mistakes, that will definitely be happening. But as I listen to this again, and you know, Miss Nene Leakes feels like they pushed Kim and they didn't push her. I feel like there are a lot of different dynamics as to why Kim was a go and you were not. I'm sure her being white is what I will call her, and you being black had a lot to do with it. But in addition to that, I think that there were other factors as well. Number one, I do believe that it was personality and persona. I think that you took on such a persona that you fully embodied of like a huge ego. You know, like it, all I can really think of is a huge ego, and I really want to say mean girlish type activity is what you used to give, and I don't think everybody was really here for that type of energy that you used to give off back then. You talked about, you know, how she was able to promote more businesses and things on her platform versus you. Well, you got to understand, this young lady filmed with her family. I mean, like, that's what it was all about. Like, if you didn't bring your businesses or do certain things on Bravo, that's on you. But you got to understand, your shared space was with other strangers. Her shared space was with her actual family members. And what is her mama doing on a day-to-day basis to make her life work and make some things go and grow? So, I mean, y'all just had like a different dynamic, in my personal opinion. So I don't even know why you would think you should be just as big as her. Like, it's not really making sense. Let me go back and play a little more because I had more to say, but I just need to hear more of what she's saying.
I just think that they made her more successful, and she was able to get opportunities and walk through doors that they just did not want me to walk through. She did Shoe Dazzle, I did Shoe Dazzle around the same time, and
then y'all are a different age, in different age groups. Like, she's gonna appeal to a completely different audience than what you were gonna appeal to. I think that was another factor as well.
They just pushed her stuff forward, and they were always giving opportunities. And one other thing is that whenever we had businesses, it felt like we couldn't really show them that much on our show, but on their show, all they do is talk about their businesses, and all they do is, you know, talk about.
Another thing that came to mind that I really wanted to mention earlier, Kim showed her life. And I don't think that you necessarily gave us all of that when it came to you in your life. I think that you wanted to give us a little bit, right? You wanted to give us a little bit, but you wanted to reap a whole lot. And that's not quite how that works in my personal. I think when you were at the height of your career in Real Housewives, you should have jumped ship if you could have after maybe 4 seasons or something, spent off and created your own show surrounded by your family, your 2 sons, your husband, yourself. But you get to this space, or you got to this space where you were so self centered that you wanted to be really the only star. And Greg didn't mind standing in your shadow because that's just how he was. He was willing to lift you up. But you kind of showed me that when you talked about Phaedra and how you said that you didn't know Phaedra. And then here we are in this interview, you're letting us know that you did know Phaedra and y'all were from the same space or the same place. And that just lets me know that you wanted to be the only girl that was known in the area. And that's how I feel, or at least you wanted to be the only girl to put Athens on. So that's how I feel about your family. You didn't want your family in the spotlight. Kim did not mind sharing the spotlight with her family, even though everybody knew Kim was in charge of the girls. But meet my sister Courtney, meet my sister Chloe. Hi, here's my mom. So that's where you messed up. And I say that too because when I listen to or I've read the records of your son Bryson and the charges and different things that he has, and he's been dealing with this for years. That could have been a little piece of your story, you know what I'm saying, with your family and him having kids or whatever, or just the dynamics. But you never really showed us that on Housewives. You didn't really open up to that on Housewives. So I think that's the thing as to why Kim may have gained more, because she was willing to share more of her life. And the camera followed only Kim majority of the time versus following you for a few minutes, like 2 minutes out of the show. Then we got to jump over here to Cynthia and see what she's got going on. Then let's go back over here to Sheree, and then let's bring everybody together. Like everything that Kim's family had going on linked to what the hell she had going on. So it made sense. And I just don't, I don't know. I think you're right where you're supposed to be. I think if you were still on Real Housewives at this time, you wouldn't be no bigger than what you are. I think you would still be as big as you are. I don't think that you would be huge. I don't think in my personal, it was ever really destined for you to be as big as Kim or anything. I think that you're right where you need to be. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, you know? Cause I mean, like a lot of the stuff that Kim was into, like how many businesses did you really give? Cause Kim tapped into modeling, of course, fashion, makeup. She's tapped into so many other things. And you didn't necessarily like do that. Like I don't see why you would even think that you should be bigger or as big as Kim Kardashian. I think that's kind of I don't know. I feel I don't know. I don't like that. I don't really like that. And I bet you see Kim as a star though. But a lot of the other ladies that you mentioned, you don't see them as stars, but you feel like you should be. Girl, let me keep going. Anywho, let's get to what Miss Tamar Braxton had to say when she was doing a comparison on the Braxton family values against, the Kardashians, keeping up with the Kardashians.
With Nene on this, I feel like a lot of people are trying to shun her. I feel like the Braxtons should be bigger. There are a lot of black women in reality television that opened so many doors and had the same opportunities but didn't get the same push.
But wait up, Miss Jason girl. Now I understand all what you're saying. Now that's a little delusional, but
wow, what is?
Yeah. Okay, girl, Miss Nene, honey, had a lot, and I love her dearly. I love Nene dearly. Nene had a lot of opportunities. She was on Glee. She was on all these different damn shows. No. She owned stores. She had everything.
Yeah, because she had to figure out how to make an income because the pay is not fair.
Hello.
The pay is not fair between Kim Kardashians, the Braxtons, or Atlanta Housewives.
Well, the pay
That's not fair.
The pay
I'm
not
sorry.
fair, but
we're doing the same thing. Why are we not getting the same price?
Well, okay.
I mean, but there's a gang of factors like the viewership between one show and another show. The fact that like on the Kardashians.
Now I'm gonna pause it right here because I kind of agree a bit with what Gary with the T is saying and what Tamar is saying. As far as what Gary with the T was saying, as far as all of the access that Nene had, and she had the opportunity to be bigger the same way she says that Kenya had the opportunity to be a star. she also had the same opportunity, in my opinion. I agree with Tamar from her aspect of the Braxton family values, because this was a group of family members. This wasn't just like some old, you know, 9 strangers put together or whatever having to film a housewife show. These were women that actually had celebrity before Kim Kardashian and her sisters were ever thought of. So I think that when it comes to Tamar's point, Tamar does have a valid point with some of the things that she's saying. It's like we were doing some of the same things. Of course, the age demographic was definitely different, but we were doing some of the same things, and the Braxtons probably was a bit more entertaining than the Kardashians too. So why didn't they get some of the same, money, access, and all of that like the Kardashians did? And I'm wondering, I don't know, that could be a piece of a conversation for WeTV, because I see the network that Kardashians were on, as a much higher network, a network that probably got way more money than WeTV. So based on that, maybe that had a lot to do with it. If you guys were over on WeTV, I'm sorry, if you guys were over on maybe that would have been a little different. And then, I mean, I don't know what y'all connections were or what your goals were or what your interests were for y'all to know what y'all want to dive into and get into this and get into that. So I don't know. Maybe the hustle could have been possibly different when it came to y'all versus the Kardashians. But I think that I think Tamar has some points.
You could mention all your businesses. The show was about the
and
businesses.
We couldn't. On WeTV, we could not. We had to pay for it.
So the smoke should be more so with the networks, which it sounds like it is.
So I have to stop it again. I have to stop it again. So they're saying, according to Tamar, she's saying that they couldn't promote their businesses unless they had to pay for it. And that's similar to what I've heard from Real Housewives. Now, here's the small difference, y'all. Here's a little difference. And I wonder, and y'all tell me, but when it comes to the Kardashians, they could have been like, sometimes you got to lose to win. So we got to lose on the front end and pay y'all to promote our shit. Cool. Because the goal is to get the promotion. We gonna get the money. We just need to put it out there and let the people know what we got going on. And because y'all probably did not want to pay on the front end, and not saying you should, because I don't know, maybe that has something to do with, y'all didn't promote y'all businesses because y'all didn't want to give that, have to pay for that money, pay for that promo or whatever. And maybe it was just like how y'all went about handling things. But who's to say that they didn't have to pay? Because like how Tamar is coming with the conversation, it is seeming as though she's assuming that the Kardashians didn't have to pay to promote their businesses. That's how it sounds to me when she's talking. But you don't know that. They probably did have to pay. But because the reward was going to be good, they did not mind paying. And that's how some people are. Some people think like that. Like, you got to pay to play. So if we got to pay just to get the promo, hey, let's do it. Because any other time, where we going to get the millions of views for people to have their eyes on our stuff? So yeah, but y'all let me know.
You are a big star. People know who Nene Leakes is. People know who Kim Kardashian is.
What she's saying, what she's saying,
not the same thing.
Without a doubt, these are all valid points, super valid complaints, and the disparity between race and reality TV and the results, they're 100% fact.
Yeah.
I don't think you can discount the biggest video in the world for a few years. I think that's hard to
real funny. Y'all real freaking funny. Not when I created Braxton Family Values and Kim Kardashian got the $100 million check. Let's talk about that. So we're not even going to sit here and talk about sex and television, creating TV shows and who deserve what when. It is unfair, point blank, and the period.
Oh, Hollywood is racist. And they will cut you the booty end of the stick, but you got to play a harder game of football.
That's right. Is that what it is?
I hate to say it, but he not lying. It should not be like that. And that's why I totally get Tamar's point. It's not fair. It's not fair. I get it 1000%. I do. But he's also right. Unfortunately for us, it's like we do got to play a harder game in football. That means coming to the table, knowing the best ways to negotiate. And if you really believe in your brand and what you got going on, then you're not just going to go with a network and settle when you believe that this is $100 million brand. Let me go to another network until somebody gives me what it is that I'm willing to accept. So, but I don't know. I would love to see, Kris Jenner and one of these, Tamar or somebody having this conversation, because we don't really know the ins and outs of what their contracts were or what they really got paid or anything. We only know what we assume. But yeah.
Oh, so you want me to die and come back white?
Well, no.
That's not what he said, girl.
That's not the only way that's going to work.
Good night. Good night. But listen, that's pretty much everything that the ladies were talking about. And I want to hear you all's thoughts and comments. Do you think that Nene, should be as big or bigger than Kim Kardashian? Do you think that the Braxtons should have received the same amount of money, if not more, as the Kardashians, and being able to promote their businesses and stuff? I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts about everything that we discussed today so far on the quick chat. Okay, I'm Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.